Ladies and gentlemen, the preseason is now over, and we are now full steam ahead to the final 53-man roster and eventually the regular season opener against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, with that being said, there of course was good, bad, and ugly in this game, and I think it's important again to talk about this because as we get near the final 53, some people might not be as safe as you think and vice versa and all that other stuff. So, with that being said, I want to go through the offense, the defense, and the special teams last. So, the first thing that came to mind with the offense is quarterback 2, right? And it kind of reaffirmed my thought process on why Will Grier should be quarterback 2. You could see the differences between the two quarterbacks. Now, unfortunately, it does feel as if the Dallas Cowboys might still roll with Cooper Rush, which I think would be dumb because of this. You can see the differences between the two quarterbacks, right? I feel like with Will Grier, is he perfect? No, absolutely not, right? He's not going to start for any team, unfortunately. But in terms of the backup realm of things, you could actually run the offense a lot more like a mobile Dak Prescott with him as opposed to Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is kind of like the traditional pocket passer, game manager. And if you're looking for more of a guy that's going to push it to the middle of the field or longer and not afraid to do that, that's Will Grier. Because, like, that's the biggest thing I noticed was Will Grier was not afraid to run when necessary, throw the ball downfield or throw the ball into certain places. Now, with that being said, I do think that Will Grier is better than Cooper Rush, but the Cowboys will probably roll with Cooper Rush with how much time they really gave him in this. I might be wrong. With your running backs, it is safe to say possibly that Malik Davis is better than Rico Dowdle. I mean, if I'm looking at the two, Rico Dowdle did not really do much this particular preseason, but Malik Davis, you know, he really surprised me, to say the least. And it's good because you want to see this competition, but the fact of the matter is that not, you know, one of these guys, even if they made the 53, I don't think they're getting a ton of touches. But I will say, I think Davis has made a case to be over Dowdle on the 53 if they elect to go that route. And I think that, honestly, if you let Davis walk, he will find himself on another team's roster. Just being completely honest with you. So the Cowboys might want to keep him. Now, your receivers. The receivers didn't really showcase much for me in this final preseason game in terms of the preseason as a whole. I felt Jalen Tolbert had a nice showing here. You know, Semi Fehoko got a touchdown. That's cool and everything. Really, the guy that stood out the most was Brandon Smith. Brandon Smith, you know, I feel as if out of all the other guys that, like, we're not really talking a whole lot about, I feel like that he has done the best to really, you know, set himself apart. You know, with a big catch, the toe tap for the touchdown, all that stuff really resonated with me, and it really showed that, hey, you know, if you're looking for a guy to make the roster, I'm going to be honest with you, Brandon Smith looked the best out of, like, the TJ Vashers of the world, the Drummonds, the Houstons. Even though Houston had a nice showing, I think that Smith, honestly, had made more of a case to make the roster. Tight ends. I am very confident that this tight end group will be just fine now. And what's better is that even in the long term, you can realistically possibly move on from Dalton Schultz. If the Cowboys decide to do that, they at least have a contingency plan. But for the time being, to have 3 tight ends in Hendershot, who I really liked, and I'm glad that he made his plays and stuff like that because he's really showed how well he could be. Jake Ferguson looked amazing. Of course, we know what you have in Dalton Schultz, but that is a really good tight end room. And so I'm very confident that the stuff that we got going there, I don't have to worry about that. So that's good. The biggest question mark, your offensive line. Josh Ball, get him off the team. The dude sucks. Okay, this was arguably a little bit of a better showing, but that's not really saying much. Josh Ball, who is supposed to be a right tackle, is playing left tackle, and you can see why that's a problem. Matt Waletzko, on the other hand, you know, a left tackle playing left tackle, he looked just fine. He actually looked really good. So if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I would say if Matt Waletzko's fine, I would hold on to him, obviously, and then I would just let go of Josh Ball, and then ultimately sign another veteran. You have to sign another veteran. You had Stephen Jones come out and say, well, you know, we like Tyler at that position and stuff like that. But now here's the problem, though, is that I still believe you need a veteran tackle in here in the event that something happens. And that's just being real with you, because again, I still do believe the Cowboys need to find a way to get this offensive line in the best configuration possible. And for me, if Matt Waletzko is an option or Tyler Smith, my personal opinion would be just play Matt Waletzko, the guy that's been playing tackle, put Smith at left guard, and just roll with the rest. Farniak, really like what I was seeing from him. Isaac Alarcon, unfortunately, he didn't have a really good game, and I don't think he'll be on the team. But we'll see how things go there. Nothing really much outside of that as well. Going over to the defensive side of the ball, Sam Williams, I like what I'm seeing, but he needs to get better at having more moves to his game. You know, like, that was one of the main things that I don't like. The penalties are things that he's going to have to work on. Some of them are ticky-tacky, so I'm not, like, that annoyed with it, but it's still something to bring up. Your linebackers, really nothing of note there. Harper's been playing really good. I'm just trying to think. The biggest thing, and I wanted to kind of save that for last, was your cornerbacks and defensive backs, because with Kelvin Joseph hurt, I don't know the severity of his injury as of this recording, so please, if something changes, don't get on me for that. Nahshon Wright isn't it, guys. The fact is that, you know, we could trust Dan Quinn all we want, but for the whole situation to be that he can make anything turn to gold, that isn't true. They definitely missed on Nahshon Wright. He has not looked good at all. Yes, he got a gimme interception, which was a terrible throw, but that doesn't mean that Nahshon Wright is good or this, that, and a third. The fact is he's been burnt so many times that he actually has no merit on being on the team. And then you have guys like Deron Bland making plays. Then you also have some of your safeties stepping up. Marquise Bell has made a case to make the roster. Then you also have Israel Mukwamo. Finally, I can say his last name correctly and not be a jackass. He's looked the best player on defense this entire preseason. He finally kind of puts this whole question mark on how do you look at the safety room. I personally think the Cowboys now have a fine safety room. And if I'm the Cowboys, I'm sorry, but you really got to move on from Nahshon Wright. Kelvin Joseph, I don't think he's it. Your special team's not going to really speak much on that. Kavontae Turpin, you know, I understand you can throw him in the receiver part of it. I do like what I'm seeing from him with the receiving portion. Like, there was a play where he would have had a touchdown. Because of the speed that he was showcasing. But, of course, the line didn't hold up. Brett Maher, I believe, let me take a look at the stats real quick for Mr. Maher really quickly. I apologize, guys. So Brett Maher was 2 for 3 on the game. The one miss was like a 61-yard field goal, which I don't care. But I think Maher has hit the field goals that I want him to hit, which was the minimal distances. But what I will tell you is this. Brett Maher really needs to just hit the ones in between the 50s. That's all I care about. Like, listen, to have a guy that can kick the 60-yard field goal is cool, but, like, I'm not dead set on that. if that makes any sense. So, yeah, so we are now done this preseason game. I think that the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of decisions they're going to have to make, hard ones at that. But that pretty much is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. As for content, we will see how things progress, because we're about to probably enter another lull period until the regular season, or rather until the 53-man roster is decided. But that's pretty much it, guys. I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.